Hello and welcome. My name is Jessica Gem, and in today's video, we see that sometimes maybe you can judge a book by its cover. Quick warning, this video contains dark themes. As Archie, Kima, Light, and Sachi enter the house, Archie tries to heal his wound, but it doesn't close. Quinn suggests calling Alyssa, an adopted Deus family member and monk, in case it needs a rare type of spiritual healing instead. As she enters to join everyone in the house, Kima tells Rael that it's about time we hear the full story, but she tells him that they should wait for Linnell so they can tell everyone together. This irritates him, but he begrudgingly accepts it. Sachi realizes that she has a small amount of her magic back, presumably whatever was left after Lyneth used all those spells. Quinn recovers his spells by putting a single drop of Archie's magic-infused blood into a vial of water and drinking it. They then begin to wait for Linnell to arrive from an 8-day journey. By the second day, Archie asks Rael to call for Alyssa, as the wound has opened further. She arrives the next day and attempts to heal him as well, but to no avail. Kima realizes that based on his studies, for this not to work either, the dagger must have been a relic of some kind. To try and figure out what it was to look for a potential cure, Archie casts legend lore, discovering that the blade was called Deicide, as in God Killer. Upon discovering that, he decides not to wait any longer and uses divine intervention to summon Linnell. Kima asks why he didn't just use that on the wound, and Rael looks at him and sighs. With all involved parties now present, Rael then explains that Sachi and Linnell were twins, that she, Archie, and Nathan had gotten into a fight with the Dream Queen, who turned out to be Malconthet's daughter. They ended the Dream Queen, so Malconthet took Linnell as revenge, and before they could even attempt to save her, Vecna got in the way and their memories were taken. By the time they got them back, her simulacrum Leah had managed to retrieve Linnell with the help of Nathan's simulacrum. Lyneth had made a deal with them that she would allow them to rewind her, take her memories and seal them in a book, and allow her parents to raise her from the place they left off. The condition was that her book would be returned should Malconthet ever show up again. Rael casts a spell, and the book appears in her hand as she trembles. Kima asks why Lyneth is running around in Sachi's head if her memories are still sealed in the book, but she doesn't know. Linnell suggests that she should read the book to figure out what's going on, but Rael knows that there's no coming back from it and she could lose the person she is now. Sachi notes that the girl she saw was not actually Linnell, but was a younger version of herself instead. But it's still not clear exactly what's happening in regards to their connection. Linnell again mentions that she could read the book, and Sachi asks if potentially anyone else could. Immediately her friends say no, knowing that she was intending herself to read it, and Rael says that only Linnell can actually comprehend what's contained in the book. Archie looks to Kima, then to Shine, and tells him that he has to go get him. When Shine returns, he's wrapped around a broken simulacrum. It's missing an arm, has a false force leg, and can only move thanks to Shine's assistance. But it's still unmistakable. It's Nathan. Kima's face is pure shock. The simulacrum hobbles over and sits next to Archie as he's briefly informed of the situation. He shakes Kima out of his stupor, saying that he's the smartest one in the room and they need him for this. Kima then pulls himself together and starts examining what we know about the current circumstance. Kima and Quinn throw around ideas and theories. Linnell blames herself for the situation, like a true daughter of Rael, but that is immediately refuted as she's clearly the main victim here. Quinn suggests searching for a version of Volpez for their memory manipulation skills, but are informed that there aren't really any copies left, only him and Alyssa, who were never directly related vulpi, and a child left by V6. Archie watches how the wound had been spreading, and estimates 10 or 15 days until it becomes fatal. Kima suggests that perhaps amputation could slow the spread. Quinn agrees, as the curse seems to be localized as far as we can tell. Now, I'ma put a slight meta note here. I was really tired during the session and wasn't able to properly process what was going on, or else I definitely would have disagreed with this assessment. Kima thinks that Mab could potentially know about the relic, but as he has been unable to return to the Feywild, he fears that he is unwelcome back and may be punished if he returns without permission. Alyssa says that the only two ways he could be prevented from returning is if 1, he's keeping himself out, or 2, Mab or the Summer King are keeping him out. Either way, he'd be able to return and be summoned by Mab, so she tries to convince him to go by teasing him about being afraid. While distracting him with that, she uses her feet to draw the circle and sends him away before he can react. In the Feywild, he arrives before Mab, and after hearing his purpose there, she tells him of an ancient legend that may help. There's a pool called Salvation in the realm of the true Celestials, such as Aasimar. She had not heard tell of it for a very long time, but there's a chance it could be the cure they're looking for. She also tells him why he was kept from returning. He was chosen by her to assist in the restoration of magic, but if he returned to the Feywild, there would be trouble in getting him out again, as arguments on the choice would likely end in him not being permitted to carry out his mission. She takes him to a secret exit that very few know about that prevents even the nobility from detecting his departure. Immediately after he disappeared from the house, Quinn and Light go about prepping Archie for his arm to be cut off. The wound is on his wrist, so they decide that just below the elbow will be best. And they cut his freaking arm off. Upon seeing that healing still wouldn't work, with Archie now bleeding even more, Sachi cauterizes the wound, but it keeps bleeding through, and appears that mundane healing doesn't help either. She tries to dispel any evil on him, but it's ineffective. As this is happening, Light notices that Linnell is no longer around. Rail looks to where the book was, and then dashes outside. Light follows and sees Linnell floating in the air, where Rail flies to her. The book falls towards the ground, and Light catches it before it impacts. Rail guides Linnell to the ground. As Light walks over, she can see Linnell crying. She gives them their space, and notices Kima's return from the nearby forest, pulling him behind a tree and silencing him. He asks what happened, and Light shows him the now blank pages. Still hiding behind the tree, Light's ears just barely catch a few words from Linnell. "Thank you, Mother, but goodbye." She whips around the tree to see Rail's expression, one of someone who has just been backstabbed. No, literally, Linnell stabbed her in the back, with Day aside.